You're listening to the Life in General podcast with Tom and Jaye. An hour of informative commentary on today's headlines, current events, and what's going on around the world and around the corner. And now, here are your hosts, Tom and Jaye Darden.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Life in General podcast here with Tom and Jaye, coming at you with episode 36, Ass, Grass, or Cash, No One Rides for Free. So we're going to start this episode off. Hope you guys are doing great out there. We're going to start it off as we do every episode, where we ask the man of the hour how he's doing down there in lovely paradise, about 10 inches away from the sun, and see what's kind of going on. So, hey Dad, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's hot. It's hot down here. It says 75 right now, but I think it's a little warmer than that. So this is supposed to be the rainy season.
Here is our smallest violin in the world playing for you. While I think today's low was 28 or 32, something like that.
Oh, was it really?
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Now the high was 50 something, and I've been having a little bit warmer in the house because I like to keep it around high 60s in the house, but. You gotta get a little warmer to go to sleep comfortably, right? Well, when it's 58 outside and I have it on 70 in here, now of course, first world problems, hashtag. But I am well insulated, as people can know, and I'm sure tell, especially the camera putting about an extra 20 pounds on me.
Surely
it was
not.
getting pretty warm, and it was something where maybe this is what Dad feels like down in Ecuador,
Oh, it's been warm. We went into town today on the scoots, and it was overcast, but it was pleasant. So there you go.
Riding the scooters down there, you got to keep us updated on the camera situation, since you have the ability to do some GoPro action for us, show us kind of where things are at and where the cool hip spots are out there.
I'm working on that as we speak. So.
Awesome.
There you go.
Well,
yeah.
hopefully not as we speak. Pay attention. We're doing a show.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Yeah, for sure. One of the reasons the title of this podcast is what it is, and it's one of the points you wanted to talk about a little bit, was it looks like the Biden administration is going to start making folks who are utilizing applications for cash transactions are going to have to start putting them on their taxes. Right now, what I read from the article that you showed me, it's only on things that are $600 or more per transaction, and does not include, which I thought was kind of interesting, it doesn't include things where you sold something at a loss. That was kind of interesting. And then it doesn't have anything to do with like friends and family. So if I was paying you rent for $700, I'm like, hey, please, here's rent. Let's make sure that's not a thing. And then it's not going to count for that, but for other business transactions that have to do that are over $600, they're coming at you. You want to explain a little bit more about what's going on there?
Well, they have to report now to the IRS. They're going to have to pay tax on that because the government's going to get in your pocket any way they can. And they're trying to go with a cashless society where they can monitor all of your business. But PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, like you said, anything that's $600 and above has to be reported. I was talking to my brother that lives in Georgia, and he has an acquaintance that he deals with for motorcycle parts. They do motorcycle parts, hot rod parts, car parts, stuff like that. And he was talking to this guy about it, and the guy said he sells on eBay.
Oh, right.
And
yep.
And so through PayPal, he said this guy told him that he logged about $90,000 last year in motorcycle parts. Yeah, buying and selling motorcycle parts. Yeah, for specialty bikes like Moto Guzzi or BSA or Norton or BMW, things like that. It's not your Harley people. These guys are doing specialty parts for English bikes and collector bikes and things like that. But this guy, it's going to be a big deal. I mean, if I don't know how a lot of people are being paid nowadays. It's just like your sister has a cleaning business in Arkansas.
Yep.
So I don't know how people pay her. I've never asked her because it's none of my business. But people might Venmo her or Cash App or something like that. That's how they might pay her. So that could get interesting. Not that she wouldn't report that anyway. Being self-employed, but it's just gonna throw a monkey wrench in a lot of people's stuff that they're doing, because there's some people probably that didn't that don't report it. So, but it's just another government. It's another government overreach of them getting in your damn pocket.
Well, two things. One, I can guarantee you, people who I may or may not know are they don't do those transactions, like buying or trading certain articles of whatever you want to call it. Like magic cards is a good example, because those are expensive. And if you're buying and trading for a company, hopefully they're reporting that stuff. I couldn't tell you that they are or not, because I obviously don't do their taxes, but it would seem as though that would be something else out there that is, when one card can go for $600-700 by itself, and that's one of the cheaper ones. That'll be kind of crazy. When you say overreach, one thing to me, it seems, okay, so the IRS, or the Internal Revenue Service, for people who don't know what the IRS is, or heck, you might be too young to have messed with them yet. It is something where that's the tax service, right? They're making sure everybody pays their proper due. One thing that confuses me slightly with this is the fact that they want to go after multiple, and I mean multi-millions, right, of small transactions, instead of going for the whales, right? Let's say go after the millionaires, the billionaires, and trying to keep up and tax them at a rate that makes sense. Instead, they're going to nickel and dime the folks who don't, have over, hell, some people don't even have over 4 digits in their bank account right now. It's just how some people are having to live. And it's a sad scenario, but it's something where, who are you really going after in that case? Right? What demographic, what groups are you actually going after? And then who's it actually going to benefit in the long run? Is it going to benefit others by you nickel and diming random Joe Blows, or is would it be more helpful to tax the appropriate folks at the right margins, air quotes, whatever we settle upon, and then get that done? Because I've heard, now don't quote me, but I have heard that the IRS doesn't go after certain groups of people, i.e. monetarily, because it would be so large and take so much manpower and dollars and whatnot. It's not worth it.
Right.
I don't want to say it. They're like a cash pinata. Just hit it until it explodes, and then boom, there's this money, right? But there are people's jobs out there right now, financial consultants, etc. Not lenders, but folks who run firms, like investment firms and stuff, that are specifically trained to show these folks who either have the money or getting into money, etc., how to hide it, right? How to not pay, air quotes, their fair share. That's not saying people aren't paying their fair share. They very well may be, and it might be ignorant speaking, but it seems as though
you're spot on.
Well, with jobs out there being specifically, I'm going to take your money and make sure you keep it all and get more. Sounds like a fantastic job, but it sounds like something might be a little bit off there, if that makes sense.
Right. I'm sure there's some shady shit going on. I'm sure of that, but there always will be. And people with money, that people that have money, the IRS is not going to fool with them, because they've got money and they've got power, and they pay somebody off, or they buy their way through, life, or they hide their money in the Cayman Islands. That seems to be a place to hide offshore accounts and things like that. The IRS doesn't have a clue the money that people are bringing in and stuff that's going on. They really don't. And like you said, too much time and too much manpower and to dig into it, and they're just not going to fool with it. So
you saying that reminds me of too much advantage.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Too much money
Well,
So there's
and
no
speaking
sense
of
in
that,
messing with you.
speaking of that, I'm not 100% sure if you are a big Netflix peruser, but all those out there, season 4 of Cobra Kai just came out. My aunt watched it all without me. I cannot believe that occurred. But supposedly, Cobra Kai on Netflix, it's out there for everyone who's got a subscription. And if you've ever watched any Karate Kid movies, especially the first couple, you need to watch that show. Supposedly, it is absolutely fantastic. And it's everything you'd ever want with that sort of thing. So,
I watched the very first one. I've not seen any of the rest of them.
the very first season?
No, the very first show, Karate Kid.
Oh, you've
And
only seen the very first Karate Kid.
I've never seen any of the rest of them, and it's just not.
Not wax
No,
on,
you know.
wax off, nothing?
Yeah, it's not my bag, I guess. So
And
anyway,
what is your bag there, Tom? What is your bag?
well, my bag is they show John Wick down here about 3 times a week. So I watch
There it
that.
is.
I watch that. Or they have Venezuelan baseball down here, professional baseball, or they have soccer, or
Are you telling me that you're a soccer fan now? A football fan?
no, I'm not. So, Law and Order, Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, and Chicago PD constantly playing on one of the channels down here on Direct TV. Yeah, so there's always something to watch. I was watching Storage Hunters, where a little while ago where they auction off the storage units and stuff. That's
Right.
and I watch it just because I want to see what people are leaving. I know it's all staged, but I wanted to see the kind of crap people are leaving in a storage unit. That's pretty crazy sometimes since I've had a few storage units, but I've never left anything in one. So I've always tried
Not
to
yet.
pay the bill.
Or not with that attitude.
Yeah, exactly right. That's exactly right. So there you go.
You got to come back up here for a little bit, buy a motorcycle or something, and leave it in one of the smaller ones. So when they bet on it or they auction it off, they're like, oh, what's in this 5x5 thing? And people are like, it's just BS. And somebody bids, on it, and then they're like, oh my God, look at this.
Yeah. You get a $10,000 motorcycle for a $150 bid. Yeah, they did that on one show. They had matching Road King Harley
cool.
Davidson motorcycles under some covers, and the people bought I think it was $2,000 or $3,000 they paid for this storage unit, and it probably had $20,000, $22,000 worth of motorcycles in it, not counting all the other crap that was in there with it.
That's a lot of that's kind of a big risk. But as we know from heading up to Indiana, sometimes if you take big risks, you get big rewards. So it's all good.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that's funny because that Pee Wee Herman thing that you did on the last podcast, that was funny as hell, man. And it's like, y'all smash that like button and subscribe, and that was great, man. That was great. I looked at that, I laughed, and then I had to replay it and watch it again and replay it. January the 6th.
Yeah,
Ooh,
January 6th. That's the secret word. So if we find more secret words, yeah, for sure. If we find more secret words, we'll have to run old Pee Wee back, because that's
that was
something
funny.
To keep people engaged. And just like you said, like, comment, and subscribe. Please let us know how we're doing, what you want to see, if you want to be on the show. 43 subs. So awesome stuff.
Cool.
It started with nothing. So now we're up there, 36th episode. So we appreciate everybody being here with us. It's super awesome.
If we hit 50, I'll be out of my mind. That'd be just crazy.
That would be very, very interesting, because like we mentioned before, I don't even know 50 people. So it would be something just absolutely crazy.
I'll be looking for a sponsor like Nestle or Coca-Cola or somebody.
You're shooting for the moon. I think you need to get down with like some Ecuadorian.
Maybe Jell-O or something,
There you go.
Yeah. Maybe
that's
Jell-O.
Exactly right.
Whatever.
Well, we'll have to. What I need to do is start getting subtitles in Spanish, and then we can start getting some Ecuadorian sponsors there.
Oh yeah, viewership down here.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
Yeah, it'd be.
I like that.
It'd be something else to try to get some more viewers and get some folks down there involved, and maybe even on the podcast, and have translators and stuff like that. So yeah, kind of.
You asked me several times have I watched the Queen Bohemian Rhapsody. Well, the band down here that Bo plays in, Bo being the drummer that lives across the street from Canada, they just started doing a Queen medley
That
in
is
their
awesome.
in their show. Yeah, in their show. So if I can get the film, their bass player had filmed them practicing that medley.
Oh, cool.
And if I can get that, I'll have to shoot that to you so you can see them practicing that. Yeah, the Queen medley. So
that is cool.
Yeah,
hell yeah,
yeah, very good.
It is das good. So,
did you know that the Biden administration just approved $200 million in military hardware to go to Ukraine today?
Awesome. Wow.
Today.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. How about that shit? Yeah.
It is going to be very interesting to see what happens with the Ukraine debacle. Something that I heard yesterday a little bit was people, I mean, I don't want to say people don't care about Ukraine, but it's a scenario where it's not very provocative because it's kind of like weird what they're doing over there, if that makes sense, in terms of what's going on, how it's all set up. Because from my understanding, they have people who are internal who are potentially corrupt, and then you have protesters who are over there doing things. Well, then Putin wants to come in and try to help them quelch protesters, but they can only come in if it's an outside power that's being uppity, right? So you got a very weird, unique situation happening. But it's something like, all right, we're going to send some troops over, and then it's going to be like, what do you call it? You want to talk about Biden's stats a little bit here, and it's something where his numbers are just going to keep going down because you can't please everybody. And in an effort to do that, or effort to do what you perceive is the right thing, it's just going to come out ridiculous. And I mean, a lot of presidents, or I would say there have been several, where they start out high, right, in their polls, and then by the end, they're just tanked. And nobody likes them afterwards because no one thinks that they do a good enough job for, air quotes, their side. And then
he's only been in office a year and has the worst results of any president in the history of the United States. Well, he's only been on the job a year.
One thing to that end is also they very well, like, people may be slightly better either engaged or informed, right? Because right now, as we talked about before, information is lightning fast. So they can send out a message, albeit good or bad for whatever side you're on. It's like, oh, more people have an opinion. So if more people vote in that opinion poll, right, it's most likely going to be bad because everybody's message is bad. Everyone's message has a shitty spin on it. So,
well, yeah, you're right. You're right. It's never been more negative than it is now.
Yeah, it's
really truly sad. It really is.
It is sad, but what's nuts is you would think that in a world where information can travel as quickly and easily as it does, why there's not a better message, why there's not more appreciation, and why there's not more optimism. But
is stored. Information is stored to be played back and talked about at a later date.
Oh yeah, well, especially us. Can you imagine? Let's say I run for office or something, and then they cut to a clip where it's like blah 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 blah, and then you say something crazy, and then I'm like, well, I mean, that's fair, and then it's like on and the polls just tank and stuff.
Do you think they would use that against this podcast against you if you ran for office?
100%. I mean, that's a no-brainer because any social media and outlet that you have that is digital, it's over. This is being recorded somewhere by somebody that's very arbitrary. Thanks for the views because that counts as a video.
Yeah, we appreciate that too. Yeah. Hit that like button.
100% something that they can go back. Yeah, smash the like and stuff. That is something where. Yeah, 100%. And they would cut up what we've said and yada yada to just make it sound absolutely terrible.
They don't have to cut up what we say because it's already crazy. Just leave it like it is.
Yeah, they would say just watch episode 28, and it would be like that.
minute number 42. And 37 seconds or something like that.
Well, remember, they would have to just do the snippet themselves. They would snip it out there and then just say, okay, just watch this 10-second clip, and then it's damning, and it's like, oh no, and then there goes my campaign, so thanks.
Okay, well, we're going to let you keep the campaign contributions and go on about your business.
That's the thing.
So
I'll just have to say, oh, it's like, oh, my supporters, boo-hoo. I was like, oh, what do we get? $200,000. Okay, cool. Oh no, I have to withdraw.
Speaking of supporters and running for office, do you know that Biden went into politics in 1972?
No.
And he's 79 years old. So he's been in politics more years than most of the people watching this have been alive.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit, man. He's 79. We talked about this last week about having a 75, 77, 80-year-old president. We don't need that. And the lies that he tells, the one that got me the most was when he lied to the people when he toured the big truck plant that he drove a big truck. I drove a tractor trailer for 16 years.
Oh, yeah.
He's a lying son of a bitch. He has never driven one.
Do you have that clip, or where's that from? I'll try to cut it in.
I don't know where it's from, but he said, oh, yeah, I drove a big truck, yeah. It's just like I got, and the thing I've got, he lied about, the guy that goes, Joey, baby, the conductor on the Amtrak train.
Oh, okay.
The guy was dead. The guy was dead for years before Biden started lying about this, how many millions of miles he had ridden on an Amtrak train.
Oh.
Nobody gives a damn about how many miles he's been on an Amtrak train.
Well, okay then.
And I right now, and if you want to put it up there, that's your business. And I'm not promoting anybody's book, but I'm reading right now. I'm about 3/4 of the way through of Laptop from Hell.
Okay.
About Hunter Biden's laptop that he left in a Delaware repair shop.
That book came out surprisingly fast for what supposedly was on it, and
it was all on the laptop. All they had to do was decipher what was on the laptop and transcribe it into a book.
Sure.
But you also had several people that were in cahoots with him, like Tony Bobolinsky. This guy, he finally threw his hands up and said, I don't want any part of this, man. This shit's going down with Russia, and you're getting deep in with communist China, and I don't want any part of it. And they were making millions of dollars off of Ukraine and Kazakhstan and China and Russia, that millions of dollars over the years. And he lied about not knowing any of his son's business dealings overseas. He was involved. He went on Air Force Two with Hunter to visit these people at taxpayer expense. I might throw that in there. So Hunter jumps on Air Force Two, and Joe goes, well, I like having family travel with me. No, you were going over there because they've got emails and video and pictures of you with these Russian oligarchs and stuff. He lied about having 3 college degrees. He graduated from college with 3 degrees. No, he didn't. He graduated with 1 degree and he said he was at the top of his class. There was like 8 out of his class of 85. He was like number 76.
Well, hey, top 76.
He was terrible.
For our lovely viewers out there, tell me what an oligarch is.
That's I didn't know. Let him look it up.
Okay.
They said he's been lying for years, and he was diagnosed years ago as a habitual fantasy liar. He lives in a fantasy land. All of his life, he wanted to be like the Kennedys. He wanted to be like the Kennedy family and be that
powerful. Like he's doing a great job. Yeah.
Be that powerful and have all of the stuff that they have and all that kind of stuff. And 3 years ago, he was diagnosed with early set on dementia. 3 years ago, before he ever ran for president. That's why they had to keep him in the bunker and couldn't let him out. because he's got a screw loose and he couldn't remember anything. So they've run the campaign from the bunker. And he's just helping the China plan move forward to be a superpower ahead of the United States. I mean, even in November of 2022, this November, you got 10 months.
10 months, that's it.
Even if the House and Senate take back, even if the conservatives take back the House and the Senate, they're supposed to take a beating. The Democrats are supposed to take a beating in both locations. They're still not going to get shit done. They're still not going to. And people need to let their senators and their Congress people know. Do you even know who your senator in Tennessee is?
You talking to me?
Yeah. Do you even know who the senator is? The Republican senator or conservative senator that represents Tennessee?
I thought it was Blackburn.
Okay, and she's not the only one.
Well, it's
but she's the one
state, right?
She's had her face in the news lately because she's got a plan. Yep, she's got a plan.
Bill
She's
Hagerty
working on something.
Blackburn. There you go.
Yeah, okay. She's got a plan, but you don't hear Bill say nothing. You don't hear Steve Cohen say anything. You don't hear the people out of the Memphis area or the Knoxville area say anything. You don't hear those people. They need to speak up. But it's just like you said, it's all about staying elected.
Correct.
And collecting that cash.
Right, exactly. That's
what it's all about. The lobbyists are paying them and buying them cars and paying for their apartments and buying them clothes and Nike's giving them sneakers and all that kind of crap.
It doesn't sound like a bad thing for the politicians.
You
right?
want term limits? You want term limits? In November, the term's up. Fire their ass. Go vote and fire them. Fire the people that are in there now. Clean out all of them. Well, I don't know if I'm voting for this guy, if he's going to be any good or not. Well, you already know they're no good. Give this guy a chance to be no good.
So
you already know they're no good.
All right, hey, I feel you. I got you.
Yeah, do something. Shake this thing up, man, because it's going to affect you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
You'll be 35 in November.
Hey, whoa, chill.
Oh, easy now, easy. And he's available, ladies. It's like, nobody's paying attention. Ooh, and they're going to bring in that voter law. They're going to slip that voter law under the radar, and then all of those illegals are going to vote. Well, I got free health care and I got a free cell phone, and you let me sit on my ass for an extra 6 months and paid me an extra $300 on top of my already illegitimate unemployment.
One of those illegals might be your future daughter-in-law or son-in-law. It's 2022. Who knows? So relax.
Well, I'm relaxed now. I got it all out of my system. But if you get a chance, and I don't promote or co-sign nothing.
Sure.
If you get a chance, pick up that book. It's called Laptop from Hell.
I don't.
And I mean, it will make you lose your mind with the shit that's gone on in the Biden family. If enough people read the book, they'd storm the White House. Screw the Capitol. They'd storm the White House.
Hashtag
and throw them out. The Life in General podcast in no way condones storming the podcast.
Having an anniversary that we talked about last week.
Well, we already know they're short on staff, guarding the White House, and they let people get over the fence. We already know that debacle. So
I have a buddy whose father used to be a police officer. And in our talks, I just had lunch with this person, and in our talks, he was saying that his dad, i.e. a former police officer, who actually used to work in Virginia, and had actually traveled around there and even may have been on the force at some point in time around the White House, and said, I'm happy I didn't work or was not working up there because I would have killed a lot of people, and a lot of people would have taken me out. And this is a police officer, but this is something where this was a person originally, they were a Trumper, right? But then after certain things went down, they are completely on the other side of the sort of post. So The polarization is insane, right? It's just
Yes.
absolutely wild.
Yes.
An oligarch, I'll try to cut this in. It is a very rich business leader with a great deal of political influence. That is
There
an
you go.
oligarch. One of the things
Okay.
I don't
Thank
want
you.
us to do is to quote something and then not know exactly what it is, because it's some people are using things.
What are you trying to say?
It's
That I need to do a better job of?
it's provocative language. So if we're going to use it, I'm all about it. You know,
No,
I'll be-
provocative language is kiss my ass. That's provocative language.
That's perfect. I know what all those words mean, and we'll take it. If we're going to be provocateurs, we need to be educated provocateurs and let everybody out. Yeah, that's the word of the day. Is provocateur. So stuff like that, man. We'll get people and all those little friends out of here,
Oh
dude.
God.
Did you know that
Oh, my gosh.
Lawrence Fishburne was actually the cowboy on Pee-wee?
I did not know that.
Morpheus from the Matrix and stuff.
You know, we were trying to figure out who, we said don't say this and say that the other day. We were talking about Lamb Chop. This is before you were born. She had a puppet, the lady, Sherry, I forget
had
her
a
name.
puppet.
Yeah, and it was Lamb Chop, and she would do the talking and stuff. It was hilarious. Yeah,
Wonderful.
It was hilarious. That was great. That's like Captain Kangaroo. Most of the people watching this won't remember Captain Kangaroo, Mr. Green Jeans, and the Dancing Bear. That was a show that we watched growing up, and I don't know what came to mind. It's like,
Well, hey, it's all good. But something that that was kind of interesting is when you mentioned that, you said your president, and I'm thinking to myself, hey,
it's your president. It's your president. Yeah.
I don't think it was more so a possessive, but more, hey, this is who we're stuck with. Something that I think that he slipped up again this week. If I can find it, I'll cut it in. Where he said, I think 2 or 3 times at this point, President Harris.
Last week, President Harris and I stood in the United States Capitol.
And that is something that her ratings and stuff they bottomed out when she was running, and they're still bottomed out now. And it's something
Everybody's leaving her office. Have you read where all the people are leaving her office?
I haven't heard everyone, but I heard a lot of folks.
A lot of people, chief of staff and director of communications and people that matter are leaving. Yeah. Yeah, they don't want to get caught up in that bullshit, man.
Swallowmy
Harris is terrible, man. That's how she got where she's at. Anyway,
we all have to do something to get where we are.
You ain't got to do that.
And that's all I'll say about that.
Okay, Forrest.
It's sure nice talking with you.
That's right.
Yeah, just, I don't know. You don't have to be a politician that everybody likes. I totally understand that. But just do something positive, right? With what power you have.
Stop all the lying and stealing. And the thievery and the lying and the cover-ups and all the shit that everybody's doing right now. Stop it. Golly, man. I mean.
How do we stop it? Other than voting them out.
Oh, here we go again. They're not talking about, there's no border in Texas. There's no border. And they're just coming across. You've left those people in Afghanistan. You don't hear them talk about that. I watched the thing that Rodney sent me the other day about a doctor who was talking about COVID. The guy comes in and he's got a broken arm and they test him for COVID and he's positive. So they list him in the hospital as COVID. He's in the hospital for a broken arm.
It's somebody who is in the hospital who has COVID.
Yes, but there's a difference because they're shoving those numbers down your throat and people are not paying attention. There's a difference in being in the hospital for having COVID.
You get more money if you have patients in the hospital with COVID. Like, you get more funding.
Well, I'm sure you do, because when we did our COVID test, the guy goes, well, I'm going to do your COVID test, and now I'm going to check your blood pressure, and then I'm going to check your weight, and I'm going to check your oxygen level, and I'm going to see how tall you are. And it's like, you don't need to do all that stuff, man. All you need to do is swab my nose. But I know that all the stuff he could list on that piece of paper and jet it into the insurance company, he's going to get paid for it.
Exactly, of course.
You know, the craziest thing that I heard recently was when I was at the hospital the other day. I was talking to a lady, and I told her, I said, we were talking about a scan that I had, a CT scan.
Yeah.
And I had the bill in front of me. The CT scan was $14,000. $14,000 and change. It was like $14,286 or something for a CT scan. You're kidding, right?
Well,
you're kidding me.
Did they have to put you in the extra large CT? So is the CTT scan?
See, that's not funny. That's not funny at all because I've lost 33 pounds.
I have 33 pounds. Oh, bullshit!
Yeah,
Because
that lady said that lady. I'm 1 pound. I am
1 pound.
I'm 2 pounds. I'm 2 pounds away from being at the weight I was when you were born 34 years ago. How about that, big boy?
Are you saying I'm big because I'm spherical? Because I do not identify as a sphere. I identify as a polygon.
She weighed me and she said, "How much do you weigh?" And I said 232, and she said 235, and I said, "I just had lunch."
And
so she laughed.
3 pounds of food.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
She laughed. Yeah, she laughed. Well, we were at the Chinese restaurant, so maybe might have ate a little extra rice or something. Might have swole up.
Something that still amazes me is the fact that you go to Ecuador and then you find the American things to eat. It is absolutely fantastic. I love it.
The busiest place in the food court in Playas, Ecuador, is KFC.
KFC.
KFC. Always a line. Always a line at KFC
with chicken, rice, and beans. It's absolutely fantastic.
I tell you, they've got a new combo now where you get a chicken sandwich, you get a leg or a thigh, an order of fries, and a drink, and it's $4.50.
Get chicken with bones out of my face.
Yeah, that's it. You get a thigh or a leg, and then you get a chicken sandwich, fries, and a drink, and it's $4.50.
So it's like a 4 for $4.
If you say so.
Well,
you could pick. You could pick whatever kind of chicken you want besides the sandwich.
I got you.
So yeah. So, oh yeah, crazy. Pizza Hut down here, Carl's Jr., which is
Pizza
Hardee's.
Hut, I was surprised the pizza. I mean, it's okay, but
right.
Your boy gets down on Domino's because they put oregano on their crust and on their pizza. Nice.
Okay.
However, I'm a little bit of a blasphemer, right? Let us know down below in the comments. Are you a thick crust, thin crust, regular crust? What kind of pizza do you eat?
What kind of pizza person are you?
I'm a thin
What kind of pizza person are you?
Yeah, I'm a thin crust person, and I've had folks who just straight up give me the...
Yeah, see, I'm a thin crust person too, but it's got to be cooked. It's got to be like a cracker crust.
Crispy,
yeah.
Right,
it's got to be crispy. Yeah.
Well, that's what Domino's is going to give you.
It can't be hanging. It's got to be straight out.
There's none of that New York flop there. Right. Exactly. It's not going to be like Al Pacino, right? And you got
that's where
two things.
Yeah, you got two pieces on top of each other. You'll have to kick that in there. Two. Give me two. Yeah. Got two pieces of pizza.
That is
nothing to drink. No drink in his hand. Two pieces of pizza with nothing to drink.
Well, he's a crazy man and he's a Scientologist. Sorry if anybody's a Scientologist out there. What's your thetan level? Okay, get out of
here. Okay. All righty.
Yeah, that's something
you better keep an eye on your president because he's doing some underhanded stuff, man. I'm telling you, you wouldn't believe the stuff. Golly, the stuff that they gotten away with. And this is when I was reading the book, I was thinking about you because you said the Secret Service needs to protect these people and keep these people from giving away secrets. And they're meeting with communist China, and they're meeting with Russian businessmen, and they're meeting with Kazakhstan and Ukrainian people and doing business with the Secret Service in tow.
Yes, because
and they're supposed to be watching.
terrible things.
They're supposed to be watching and making sure that they don't give away the nuclear secrets.
Russian or speaks Kazakhstani or Chinese. They don't know Cream of some young guy. They don't know.
You don't. I thought you said they were watching them to make sure they didn't do no bad shit.
They are,
but they're not. They're not watching them, or they would know. That's a bad guy right there. He's on the 10 most wanted list worldwide.
Can be correct at the same time.
No. No.
Are they watching them? Yes. Okay. Like Joe Pesci and Luca. Okay. How about this? What I was saying was when they are no longer in power, right? You're talking about things are happening as they are in power. So once it's over, the Secret Service.
Okay, once he stopped being vice president,
he became president.
No, he didn't. He went 4 years. Joe Biden went 4 years.
Oh,
without. Okay,
sure.
And that was another question: is he getting his senator salary, or is he getting a vice president salary, or is he getting both?
Let me ask you this:
But you're flying to Russia, and you've got Secret Service protection. You were vice president.
Reinstated into his senator position immediately.
That's a good question.
He got out of vice presidency.
That when he got elected vice president, they should have held a special election and closed, and somebody should have filled his spot in Delaware. But it's the Delaware way to have Joe in there cheating and stealing for them. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. The stuff that he got away with, man, and still getting away with it. Still. Of course, Obama and Susan Rice and, Hillary, they're all pulling strings behind the scenes, and people hadn't figured that shit out either. Someday people will figure it out. Yeah. Some days people will figure it out. They'll figure it out. President down here put a cease on raising fuel prices down here. So they're stuck at $2.55 a gallon for regular unleaded, which people will go, ooh, that's nothing. It is to somebody that's only making $400 a week.
Yeah, that was something they showed on Crowder was they said, yeah, gas prices doubled. And of course they, in kind of in bad taste, were like, yeah, it may have doubled, but 75% of the people down there don't drive. So why are they getting pissed? Because they don't have any cars. Over like in Ukraine.
Down here? No. I was going to say, here, everybody's on the road here, man.
Yeah, beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, you've been down here. And you know that they put a new toll booth in on the highway to Guayaquil. So now this young man that works at Carl Jr.'s that Pat talks to sometimes, and I guess he's in management, but he does speak a little bit of English. He lives in Guayaquil.
And he drives every day.
And he comes to ply us to work, 90 miles to ply us to work.
But
he's got to pay. He's got to pay $2 to get there and $2 to go home, because it's $1 for a car at the toll booth. And there's 2 tolls between here and Guayaquil.
I remember you mentioning that. I'm not sure if it was on the podcast or after, but
that's 5 days. That's $4 a day, 5 days a week. I hope they're paying them a decent amount of money plus the gas.
Well, if he's not manager,
going back and forth,
or if he is manager at a restaurant, he's not making minimum wage. That's for sure.
Well, I get that. But is he making enough to? I guess he is, because he's still there every day with a smile on his face.
Well, it's just like somebody who had to drive to Dixon and back every day to run a restaurant.
I did that for 9 months. It's 120 miles each way. No, it wasn't. 72 miles. That's 72 miles each way. Yeah.
Wrong.
But I had a little Chevy Cavalier that was air and heat and 4 black feet, and it had Married with Children on the side. It was a little bitty Chevy, 87 Chevy Cavalier, 4-door, automatic, 4-cylinder. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I got passed by a freaking duck one day flying by.
That's fair. Well, it's something, that was just trying to get you to and from work, right? So nothing too crazy about that.
Yeah.
But it is.
Yep.
It is all good. So yeah, it looks like he didn't become senator again. He just kind of did his thing after.
Yeah, that's where they go give speeches, and they're paid $50,000 for an hour speech or 45-minute speech, and they get paid, $50,000 to show up, like Hillary and Bill and all of them. Obama, yeah, 50, 60 grand to show up and shake hands and press the flesh and kiss babies and all that shit. Yeah, yeah, and then run for president. If this book
Sure.
the laptop got dropped off before the presidential election, and they would not let any of the stuff that was on the laptop be published,
be exposed
before the election, right? Because there's no way in hell they would have elected that dude, man.
That's correct.
If they knew the stuff he was doing, and his son was doing it, and his brother Jim was doing it, and his son Bo was doing it, and Tony Bobolinsky was doing it, and all these other people, man.
Okay, so that brings up a good question, though. You said
They know they're doing it, and they still haven't done anything about it.
Well, as we know, it is very hard to mess with a sitting president.
You can do something to his son.
Oh, because that's what you want to do. You want to mess with the president's son. Okay.
Sure. Because Bo passed away, but see, what he's done is all this years ago. His wife, his daughter, and his two sons were in a car riding down the road, and a guy hit them. It killed the wife. It killed the daughter. It put Bo and Hunter in the hospital. Okay, so Joe has played this tragedy over and over again to get the sympathetic vote. Anytime that something doesn't go his way, this is what they've pointed out, that anytime something doesn't go his way, he resorts back to the tragic situation of his losses in his life and the tragedies he suffered and all this. Because eventually Bo died from I don't know if it was from injuries incurred in the accident or not, but the only kid he's got left is Hunter.
Yeah.
And you talk about crack addict. I can't say this because it's so bizarre, but he lined up M&Ms on a thing that he had one day. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's part of a male body, and it was standing up, and he lined up M&Ms on there and took a picture of it. Pictures like that on his laptop.
Awesome.
Pictures like the pictures of him and girls in the strip clubs, and all the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that he spent.
Wants to do with their M&Ms and their arms. This is the freest country in the world, and they can do whatever they want with their arms
M&Ms and their arm and their tool and anything else that they want to work with, right?
That's it. They can do whatever they want with whatever soap, whatever M&Ms, whatever creams. It's
my tool and it's my soap, and I can wash it as fast as I want to.
I believe in a country where a man will not be judged by what he does with his arms and his candy, but by never mind. Get off them floats. I've got him, folks. It is absolutely outrageous.
Get him. He's on the ropes. Get him while he's on the ropes.
That's it. Get him while he's down. So,
I laughed so hard I think I sprinkled.
Hey, well, then we've done our jobs. But that is okay. Yes. Good. So,
Gosh.
So as your
I
as
can't
your
see
head
because
is,
the tears in my eyes.
that's it. So as your head is face down, you keep showing us your Memphis Tigers hat. Supposedly they're doing all right there. Are they having a good season so far? Normally you wouldn't wear their hat if they're doing poorly.
They've won a few games in a row. They lost 4 or 5 in a row, and they made some moves and made some player changes and some adjustments and stuff. And now they're second in their conference now.
Oh wow!
Because they've won. They've won. Yeah, they've won 4 or 5 games in a row. So now they're oh golly, I don't know. They've lost 5.
You catch?
They're 10-5 or something like that.
Did you catch wind of Georgia actually beating Alabama? That was nuts.
I'm not a college football guy, but I did see that the next day. I saw where several people said, Alabama roll on and Alabama played a great game and all that kind of stuff. And then I looked at the score and it was 33-18 or something. And I thought, well, how great a game could they have played if they got?
It was something that was kind of wild for sure.
If they got beat by 15 points, 2 touchdowns, but I saw that and I thought, because your is it your nephew? Whitney and Morgan, they're big. They live in Georgia.
They ain't my nephews. That's my cousins.
Cousins. I'm sorry, cousins.
Yes, cousins.
And they probably were at the game. If the truth be known, because they played in Georgia.
That would have been a game to go to for sure.
Yeah, probably played in the new stadium. Didn't they get a new stadium in Georgia? Or is that baseball? I know baseball got a new stadium. I don't know if they got a new
but if they play where the Atlanta Falcons play in Georgia, then that's been new for a minute. So not super
the dome,
new, but it's
nice.
Dome or
is it
very nice.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure because they're big fans. I'm sure they probably went. Because I didn't know. Hell, I didn't even know they were playing. That just shows how much I keep up with the bowl games, the toilet bowl and all that kind of stuff. I did see a big controversy on the Tennessee game and how that ended. That was pretty crazy. I don't know, but
I was in an interview recently, and this person was a Tennessee Vols fan.
I'm sorry.
Anytime somebody says they're a Vols fan or an Alabama fan, I have to bring up the fact that I'm a Florida Gators fan. I know the dislikes and the hateful comments are coming. I understand.
Here it comes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, they would say, how does a stupid person clap? And they would go like this. And I'm thinking, okay, leave the alligator alone. It's been here longer than you've been alive. Okay. And it is... it was something where much like this background, as you see behind me, is digital. And it is something where I put a Florida Gator behind it, and the person was just derailed instantly in what they were telling us. And I said, oh, yeah. Because their favorite color was orange, right? And I'm like,
right.
And that's dumb as hell. You're an adult, right? Pick, be an adult and whatnot. However, I said that, and of course, I was the person being a provocateur, right? It was hilarious because I put the Florida Gator up, and then finally when I took it off, they said, oh, I can see better now. And I'm thinking, well, your ass ain't getting hired.
Well, for those of you that don't know, this is the Tennessee flag, and then for the others, this is our support the law enforcement flag. So
something I thought, and that's an interesting interesting to point out, the supporting police flag. Okay, that flag does not mean you support all police. That means you support good cops who are doing good in the communities that they are protecting and serving. And I thought the distinction there was mind-boggling because it makes perfect sense, and it is what you're going for, right? It is saying, hey, we got your back as a community. We want the good cops out there, the good people who are putting their lives on the line every day and taking their lives and giving them to us, essentially protecting and serving. We support you. And I was like, there it is. That's the message.
What is really funny is to see the people backpedaling now. Well, it's funny to me because you get to see the people that are backpedaling on the defund the police, that are crying for police to help them in their neighborhoods and stuff.
We need a greater police presence. Oh, yeah.
Hilarious. Yeah. Where are the cops when you need them? Well, you laid half of them off, or you didn't renew their budget or whatever. It's really funny. Some of the narratives and some of the things they talk about, that, it's a few days before the ignorance, just completely exposes itself. That's about one guy that I watch. He goes, any news feed that you hear, wait to comment on it for 72 hours.
But not
because
us. Not us.
No,
Comment right now.
Yeah, that's right. Below, comment, and subscribe, and hit the like.
Comment
hit the
down
like
below
button,
immediately. Don't wait on this. Don't sit on this. But
Yeah.
I do agree with that, and I think it is interesting.
He said,
because
wait 72 hours and see.
Wait a couple days, see what's going on, because remember, people are fighting for your attention.
Yeah.
If they have it and they're being a provocateur, that's what's happening. You're hearing what's coming out first. That's what's going to be in your brain, and then it's very hard to dissuade you from that, right? Your attention is very important, because that's what it is nowadays. We are all vying for attention, right?
That's right.
No.
Memphis plays tonight, I think.
No.
Maybe, I don't know. They might.
It could happen, like JP said.
That's right. That's exactly right.
For sure. Yeah, that is absolutely wild. But yeah, something that is just, I don't know.
Your president. It's your president and your administration. And what are you going to do about it?
For sure. And
what are you going to do about it?
Gotta go vote.
What are you going to do?
No, Donnie Brasco here.
What are you going to do?
You got to vote. You got to get out there, go to the polls. But more so than going to the polls, it's being educated.
Yes.
Listen to multiple sources. Hear people, hear every side, and then make your own decision. Don't sit in echo chambers. Don't just listen to the first thing you hear and say, oh, well, that's what's happening. Because in all honesty, it probably isn't. And it's something where many things now are nuanced. So much information's out there. Find your own facts. Find your own sources. Get with, just take an extra couple seconds to read down the article before just reading a headline. That's something too, right? Where they've made it it's almost the perfect system, because they make a lot of the websites that you go to get more information a pay site, right? So they have a headline that's very provocative, right? And it says, this is this. Then if you had the option to read further down, like let's say 3 or 4 pages down, you get the real crux of the matter that's buried somewhere so many pages down. And it didn't even say what was in the headlines. It says the complete opposite, but they got you, right?
Right. Because of all the advertisements and stuff that's in between.
Well,
that's the thing. When I click on a news feed,
right?
When I click on a news feed, it's like the Commercial Appeal, which was the morning paper in Memphis, Tennessee. And so,
not to break your bubble, but no one reads the paper anymore.
No, I understand. And when they post something on there about Memphis or basketball or something, I'll start trying to read it, and I get like 3 sentences, and it's like, you need to subscribe to finish reading the story. Right. Well, I don't need to read. I don't need to read it that bad. Click, click, boop, and they're gone. I don't have to read it that bad. I can go to the Memphis website and get the score if I need to get the score. But it's amazing that they do that. And,
right.
Yeah.
Info's out there. There are ways to get that information. And something
you got to educate yourself. Geez, got to educate yourself, because these people are pulling the wool, man. You talk about a wolf in sheep's clothing. Golly, this is incredible. The crap that they're doing, the illegal lying and bullshitting and stuff, the stealing and all that. Next week, I meant to tell you, I'm going to get Rodney to come back on, that lives in Kentucky. And I don't know what the episode number was, but it was the one that we said KY, the state or the lube. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm going to get with him and get him to come back on, and we'll find out the state of affairs in Kentucky, where Mitch, the Turtle McConnell, hopefully will never be able to get reelected again if anybody has their way about it. Yeah.
That was episode 7. That was early in our podcast career there.
Woo! I tell you, you want to see something funny? I started watching episode 1.
There you go. Yeah.
Couple of days ago, and you thought,
that?
Oh my gosh, we had just gotten here. We had been here 2 weeks when we did that podcast, and it was interesting.
I do like seeing.
Hey, Dad, where you at?
Yeah, I do like seeing the production values, seeing the topics, seeing how we interact, right? Because Now
Right.
we've been doing this for 36 weeks. We're going on definitely over a half a year. We're almost at 3/4 of a year. And it's something where we keep it going. We try to keep it fresh. We try to, if it's self-referential, we try to let you know what's going on. And
Right.
I think it's becoming a pretty decent little show. And it's something where you and I are never at a loss for words. So it is what it is.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, we can keep it going.
Hey,
We can keep it going.
We're
That's
gonna
right.
do it forever because I'll just weekend at Bernie's that shit and just have you over there on the other side and just make a little thing over there.
The informational highway will never be dry. That's for damn
That's
sure.
the thing, right? Never gonna run out of information, stories, anecdotes, etc., etc. So.
And now, we talked about it last week, but now they're not even checking your vaccine card at the mall anymore. They used to take your temperature
right. Ebbs and
spray,
flows, ebbs and flows, sure.
and spray your hands, with a disinfectant. But now they're not even doing that anymore. They don't even have anybody at the front door doing temperatures or checking vaccine cards or nothing. I guess they've got a sign that says that you have to have one in Spanish, but we don't know what it says. So
my buddy said that I believe this. He said you couldn't buy cigarettes in Canada. Supposedly, our Canadian friends, let us know down below what you heard from your homeland. This past week or in the past few weeks, you could not buy weed or alcohol without a vaccination card. Do you think that's going to get some people vaccinated or what? Oh yeah, I'd be like, yeah,
That's
right
what
here.
you're doing here, right?
Give it right here. All 3 shots at one time. Let's go. Absolutely crazy, man. But it's going to get you vaccinated. It is. I promise you.
Well, in the press release this week, Peter Ducey from Fox News was in the press room with Peppermint Patty.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he's been triple vaxxed and got COVID. And Peppermint Patty, Jen Psaki, she's been triple vaxxed and got COVID.
It's not about not
he's
getting
like,
it. It's not
he's
about
like,
not getting
how can you push a vaccine mandate when the vaccine doesn't work?
It's about
it doesn't keep you from getting COVID.
Symptoms.
It doesn't keep you from getting COVID if you're vaccinated. He was triple vaxxed.
They changed.
She was triple vaxxed.
The
No, they're still lying to you.
They changed the definition of what a vaccine is once they realized this vaccine, you can still get it.
My oncologist told me not to wear a mask as much as you can because your body is made to filter. You're made to filter air. Your body's made to filter blood. Your body's made to filter food and get the energy from the food. And then you have waste, and you got to be able to breathe out. If you breathe in, you got to be able to breathe out. You have an onboard filtration system. She said the mask just stifles that, and you recirculate the nasty shit that you breathed in. She said, anytime that you can get away with not wearing one, do not wear one.
We need to get
your
cancer oncologist.
My cancer doctor said that.
Because that would be a show like no other. Hyundai P.
Well, you're there. Ride down and talk to her.
I might.
Right.
Like, hey,
ride down and talk to her.
Yeah.
Because she is a pistol, buddy. She's ready. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Ride down there. Ride down there and talk to
her. Email her and see what's up, man. It'd be absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, I would.
Could you imagine doctors, vice presidents of airlines, shop owners, shop workers? Absolutely crazy, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Metro Police. Yeah.
Police. I'm telling you, man. It's nuts. And
get to working on that list, big man. Get to working on.
I'm not pointing any fingers, but get the list going, man. Get the emails out there. We'll hook them up. And if you all want to be on the podcast or want us to talk about a certain topic, please let us know down below in the comments. It's always wonderful to do these episodes with you and chit chat and talk about the world and what's around the corner.
That's
one of my favorite things about about Bo doing our intro. It is fantastic. So we've hit the hour mark. Fauteurs, is there anything else you would like to talk about?
Ooh, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm
Wonderful.
good.
Well, it was
Your
fantastic.
president is a liar. That's all I can tell you.
How about this? Presidents lie.
Okay.
That's the tagline. So thank you all so very much for watching the Life in General podcast with Tom and Jay, and we will catch you all in the next episode.
See you.